You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the POLITY live from KAFTAN television studios in Abuja, the nation's capital. My name is Macauley Hunohashi. Joining me is no other person than Chukwudi Igwe. Chukwudi Igwe is a contractor, extempo brand influencer, digital media strategist, and businessman. He's so many things, put together. Chukwudi, you're welcome to the POLITY live on KAFTAN television studios.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for joining me. We don't take you for granted. I can see you are all smiles. The Nigerians are facing widespread hardship.
Yeah.
And there is widespread poverty. It's no longer news.
That is so.
And the president just came back from Beijing, China, where he said he's going to take harsh decisions. How did you receive that news?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. The thing is, the country itself have been in a lot of tribulation, lately, with hardship and a whole lot going on in the government and also in the society. People have reacted to Mr. President's statement and his press release, after his visit to China, which a lot of people have shown concern that Mr. President is not showing like the priority to the things that is bothering the poor masses. Rather, is trying to show more interest in other things that is not even a pressing need, But then, from what is going on currently and everything, I think the government need to do more, to have a good communication with the masses and also with the people. I think Mr. President have not really, been into that close relationship of communication with the masses and also with his people. There is a gap which they need to close, because communication goes a long way in governance and also in democracy. Yeah. Okay.
Now, when you look at the politics of fuel price hike in Nigeria, what comes to your mind? I'm asking this question against the backdrop of the back and forth between government regulatory agencies, government itself, and private sector led by, a colossus like Aliko Dangote. We are told that by the time Aliko Dangote, begins to offload the end products to the end user, everything is going to come crashing down. But that's not the case.
The thing is, a lot is actually going on behind the doors that the citizens with the masses don't really know what to believe at this point. The issue of fuel scarcity has been happening for a while now, which is actually a call for concern, because currently, today you will hear the NNPC say, bring up one or two ideas or just give their own press release concerning the fuel hike. Then Dangote also will give his own. Then the Minister of Petroleum also will say a different thing. Currently now, we don't even know who to believe again. And people don't really have clear idea of what is happening. That is why I said earlier on, there is a bridge of communication between the leaders and his people. Because assuming currently now, there is no fuel, the prices have went up. Now, assuming Dangote will come out and tell us this is the challenges he's facing from the government, or the government will come and say this is what we are planning to do. After this thing, expect so results. That from now to so time, there will be a change in price. Fuel will be available. But currently now, everybody is in the dark. People are just giving their own view out of what they think, or what they just predict that may happen, which is a very bad thing to do for a country that is as rich as Nigeria when it comes to crude. Let me say 4 years back or 3 years ago, even a year back, everybody we are hoping once Dangote refinery starts, running, that we'll have fuel, we'll have enough of fuel available. But currently, affordable. But currently, we are experiencing a whole different thing, which is very, very sad as a country of Nigeria. So I feel like it's a whole lot, because people are passing through a whole lot of hardship. because of this fuel hike in price and a whole lot that is going on. I think the government need to do something. They really need to do something, because as it stands now, me personally think that the fuel itself will still go up because we don't know what is happening. I strongly believe that a lot of people are actually benefiting from what is going on, and that is why we are experiencing what we are experiencing today. You know.
Now, on the eve of the RFI's release of the product, RFI came out. I mean, Dangote came out personally to announce that, you know, NNPCL, which is supposed to be a business entity, although government is having a stake in it, that NNPCL is going to be the sole off-taker. And off-taker means the first person that will be given the, you know, offer of first refusal.
Yes.
But we are hearing NNPCL coming out, you know, yesterday, you know, with a different viewpoint that no, RFI, Dangote, you know, is free to sell to other marketers. You know, there seems to be this confusion around that issue. What's your take on that?
Now, that is the problem we're actually having, you know, because we don't know what is going on. Like as I said earlier, today NNPC will come out with a different story, tomorrow Dangote will come out with a different story. And all these things is not really aligning. They are making the whole masses very, very confused and not knowing what next to do or what next to expect. You know, so because right now, that day Dangote came out and said within the next 48 hours that if they were able to agree or conclude with the NNPC, they will start dispensing fuel and petrol to the masses. But up to today, we have not had anything. Now NNPC is saying that it's also free to dispense to other people. Knowing fully well, Dangote is waiting for them, and they are the sole, you know, offshore buyers, which is, you know, bringing everybody into confusion. That's why I said we don't even know what to expect right now. We don't know what is going on and what, you know, next route.
Chief Chukwudi, let's take a short break, and when we return, the program will continue with the conversation. Please don't go anywhere, stay with us. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Speaking on the effort made by the security agencies on the critical issues in August 2024, Aliyu noted that the Nigeria Customs Service collected 277.5 billion naira in import duties and 15.8 billion naira in excise duties, reflecting its commitment to revenue maximization. Adding that Nigeria Police Force conducted extensive operation during the #EndBadGovernance protest.
And 77.5 billion naira in import duties and 15.8 billion naira in excise duties. Excise duties are duties collected on locally manufactured goods under excise control, reflecting its commitment to revenue maximization. In an effort to suppress smuggling to the barest minimum, the NCS recorded 87 seizures across various commands, including 170,000 liters of PMS, 3,083 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 1,014 parcels of cannabis sativa, 23 vehicles and other contrabands, with a total duty paid value of 975,066,791 naira 65 kobo.
Aliyu highlighted the significant progress made by the Defense Headquarters in the ongoing operations across the country.
The strategy of dismantling these terror groups by targeting their leadership, commanders, and collaborators is significantly diminishing their capacity to carry out major offensives. Additionally, the military recovered 391 weapons, over 15,000 rounds of ammunition, and disrupted oil theft activities worth over 5 billion naira. Apprehended two armed robbers suspects and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 1 K2 assault rifle, and various ammunition. Similarly, on August 4th, the anti-kidnapping unit of Niger State intercepted a vehicle containing 15 automatic pump action.
The force PRO, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, and the Nigeria Correctional Service spokesperson, Abubakar Umar, bore their mind.
And Lucky Obiya are still wanted on our list. We have cases against them, cases that border on subversion, and of course taking over the democratically elected government forcefully, sponsoring crises in Nigeria and beyond the country, beyond the shores of this country, and of course financing terrorism. Any prohibited arms found in your possession can take you to prison. You don't need to even struggle to get any of these arms. It's a criminal offense. And we don't encourage anyone. For now, we have ban on the use of arms and ammunition in Nigeria. If you want to get your arms, you need to wait until the federal government will lift ban on the use of having a possession of these prohibited firearms or firearms.
Is calculating cost of food. The government has actually reviewed the feeding allowance of inmates in our custody with 50%. And this is just the first phase of the review. The government is also looking at the next phase where they will actually improve the allowance of inmates. But as of now, it has been increased with 50% from August 2024.
The dedication and resilience of our security and response agencies who continue to work tirelessly in the face of evolving challenges is high.
If you are just joining us, this is the Polity Live coming to you from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja, the nation's capital. My name has not changed. It is still Macauley, Hunohashi, your host, and we've been discussing with Chukwudi Igwe, an entrepreneur, a digital media strategist, and a businessman, a contractor. He's everything. And just joining us before we went on that break is Abdulaziz Idris. He is the chairman, Dusan Alaji Modern Market. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the Polity. And Igwe, thanks for remaining with me in the studio. Abdulaziz, before we went on that break, we were discussing the politics of fuel price. That's our first topic today. While Mr. President was in China, he did promise that he's going to replicate the infrastructure in China to Nigeria. Did you believe that?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay. But you are familiar with the infrastructure in China. It took them decades and years of planning, vision, and and people-oriented policies to achieve that result. And it is instructive for Mr. President to say he's going to replicate the same thing in Nigeria, which is achievable too.
Yeah.
And then you believe him, you are full of optimism that it can be done.
Yes.
What informs their optimism?
Yes, it's all these things we're talking is an issue of planning. And yes, as you said, China, it took decades before they were able to reach where they are. It's determination, planning, and being you stand on the plan, or you follow the process of that planning. You plan ahead. That's how the developed countries reach where they are. By history, if you look at China, 50, 60 years, China was not developed as it is today. If you could remember, one of their presidents, or let me put it that way, Chairman Mao, revolutionized China and make it what it is today. If you go by the history, yes, that changes really come with enormous human cost even, because according to the history, he has to even to slaughter people. Many people die of hunger, because then China people were so lazy like we are. Even toothpick, any other food, they depend on Russia, India and others. But when he came, you now find out with the population of China, almost 550 million to 900 million at that years, in 30s and 40s, you now see that, why should we be so lazy that neighboring countries will be feeding us? We have the population, we have the land, we have the resources. Why can't we do it? So he has that patriotism in him and the people around him. So they set targets, they plan. And before you know, they suffered hunger as we are suffering today. They suffered a lot of inflation and so on and so forth. I read somebody was telling me, back then China people doesn't eat worms, they don't eat snakes and frogs. But because of the reform that Mao came with, and he stand on it that it has to be, that was when China now they can eat snake, they can eat frog, because everything become food at that particular time, because the food is not there. But they stand on ensuring that that plan is achieved.
So it's about vision.
It's about
plan, following through.
Yes.
You also earlier mentioned, you alluded to the fact that he also slaughtered people. You're not saying Tinubu should slaughter.
Based on history, I'm not saying that. That was years back.
Okay.
We're just saying it the way history reveals how it happens.
Exactly.
In Nigeria here, if we can plan and implement, if our executives will stand to implement it, then definitely we can achieve that. But the problem we have in Nigeria is the implementation. Even if there's planning, to implement it become a problem. If you could remember, during Abacha, he set up this summit or conference, they call it 2020 vision. That one just slipped the way it should be after Abacha died. During Johnson, just recently, 2014, I think we have National Conference Summit. That summit has made a tremendous documentation and recommendations. But virtually, along the line, it was also crippled. It wasn't allowed to, no implementation.
Even the Orange report.
Yes, even the Orange yes, you have made a very
2014.
In 2014, the same thing. It wasn't implemented. So our problem is lack of implementation and the vision that our leaders have. Sometimes, I do believe, back then when we were children, our grandfathers used to tell us that, you see, these politicians, they are coming to you to ask for their boss. They want to lead you. Now they are coming. They used to come with a human head. You see them, they're humans. But when they enter office, they change. What our grandfathers used to tell us was, when they enter office, their human head will be removed. And they will put donkey head on them. So then we're laughing. We're saying, our grandfather, how can how can you go and cut somebody's head and go and cut donkey? But if you look at it, literally, to a small boy, he will look at it that way. But when you look at it by meaning, definitive meaning, you understand that there's something they are trying to tell us.
The wisdom, the hidden wisdom
taken away. Before they enter there, the wisdom is there, the vision is there. But as they enter there, you will see that they're biting. They were entirely moving. If the plans and vision are going east, then they are going west. This is the problem we're having. So implementation, execution, and even the planning, the will to follow it, is one of the major problems. But if President Tinubu wanted to make Nigeria great, within the period, he will say he can do his own and leave the other plans for others to come. But one thing is, from where did he start? Because one thing about vision and plan will not be raised with only one person. there must be people that are carrying that same vision and plan who you work together with. So if the president himself, he has that vision, for example, and now it happens that the people around him, they don't carry that vision and they don't have that willingness to help him, it will be a very difficult task for him ahead.
Okay. Now, Tinubu, the buck stops at his table, definitely.
Of course.
What's your impression about his advisors, the ministers, the cabinet? Are they advising him, appropriately, so to speak, from your own point of view?
You see, there's one thing I do realize with our leaders. As I said earlier, when they were campaigning, they have the people at their heart and they listen to people. But by the time they enter into office, for them to listen to people is very difficult. And one thing is, if you, as an ordinary person now, you wanted to reach president to tell him, this is what I see, this is where I see you err, this is where the direction is expected for you to follow by the majority of people, it will be difficult for you to see him and tell him that. But one thing is the advisors, some of them, they can tell truths, but few among them. Some, they know the truth, but why they will not say the truth is because for fear of them being relieved of their work.
Okay.
That's why they will not tell the president truth in some instances. It happens. You will see that even if you are trying to say the truth, they will do everything to block you so that you will not reach there to tell them the truth. But some leaders, if a leader has a vision and he wanted to follow that vision, he has so many ways how he can listen to people. And apart from listening, is for him to ensure that he puts national interest before any other thing. He must be, he must ensure that he gets credible information and communicate credible information, and also work with the interest of the majority of people.
Okay. Chukwudi, let's open our telephone line. My producer is going to display the telephone line now through the master control room. And yes, it's there right on your screen. Please, viewers, begin to call in so that you can participate by making the program interactive and conversational. It is still the POLITY live from KAFTAN Television Studios. With me in the studio is Chukwudi Igwe, businessman, entrepreneur, and digital media specialist and strategist, and Abdulaziz Idris, the chairman of Dusan Alaji Modern Market. He is in position to tell us the feelings of Nigerians because he's into buying and selling. We're here discussing the politics of fuel price hike in Nigeria. Chukwudi, let me come to you. Okay. Now, our refineries are not working.
Yeah.
And we have had milestones. Nigerians have been told about milestones to carry out turnaround maintenance. And with each milestone, monies were earmarked and budgeted and expended. How do you feel today? I know you feel bad, but beyond feeling bad, how do you, what's your worry as a Nigerian that our refineries are not working? And Dangote, a businessman that came on with his own refinery, he got the license to float his own. He has floated his own. There seems to be some kind of frustration going on. What do you feel?
It's actually very sad. It's really worrisome because as it stands now, we don't know what is our fate and how our future looks like.
Okay, hold on your thoughts there, Chukwudi. Let's take our first caller.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is the POLITY live from KAFTAN Television Studios. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. From Niger State. What's the name, sir? Balarabi from Kagara. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with your contribution. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yeah.
What is the going to try to about? One that they said they will start the project in participation of this one.
Okay.
And what we are hearing that the federal government will as well.
We've lost the caller, but I could barely hear him. Go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying,
we want you to call back, Balarabi. Please do call back so that you can share your thought with us. The line has been epileptic. Go ahead, Igwe.
it's really worrisome because at this point we don't know, what our future holds for us, because with the kind of wealth Nigeria has, and when it comes to crude oil and mineral and natural resources, we shouldn't be in a position of the kind of position we are finding ourselves today. And now my worry is that from the past government to this current administration, it keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
And I don't know what will happen by the time the Mr. President and his current administration steps down and we'll have a new government, how it's going to look like. Because during the Buhari regime, we are crying about fuel have increased and everything, Well, currently now, it's getting worse, which we don't know what will even happen from now to the next month time, because there is no plan. Just like as my brother was talking when you asked me a question, talking about leaders that have vision. Coming to that part, I don't even think that this current government,
is visionary.
Yes.
Okay, let's take this caller. Yeah, our second caller. This is the POLITY live from KAFTAN television. Go ahead, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'm calling from Edo State.
From Edo State. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mr. Joe Mumuru.
Joe Mumuru. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. There was a time the minister, this man, Kiari said that the Nigeria petroleum, the Nigeria refinery will start working. He said so, Kiari, I think the director of NSCC or something like that.
Mele Kari.
He said so.
The group managing director.
Available by August.
No.
Fuel will be available by September. Up till now, there is no fuel.
No, they have shifted the goalpost to December.
Okay, to December.
Yes, from September.
Dangote refinery is about to start. Why is federal government playing game with Dangote? They should allow Dangote to sell freely.
Okay.
Because this Dangote issue has been presented for a very long time that Dangote refinery will start, fuel will stop. Now that, yes, up till now, Dangote refinery has started, fuel is this car. Look at the suffering Nigeria is suffering. Every year, people are suffering. I don't know whether the government are not seeing people. If they are driving their luxurious cars to office, are they not seeing people queuing up in the filling station? Is it the reason why we voted here?
No.
Nigeria is suffering.
Yeah.
So, we plead to Mr. President, he should do something. He should act fast.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
This is not the reason why Nigeria voted him.
Yeah. You're right. Thank you.
So that's my take.
Thank you, Mr. Job. You resonate with his temperament. You can feel the pain in his voice. I've asked Chukwudi earlier on before you joined us.
Yes, sir.
That Dangote, on the eve of his, of his release of his the petroleum product, with a plan to reach the end user, he announced that NNPCL, which is supposed to be a profit-making entity, that the federal government has a stake in it. That was NNPCL was going to be the sole off-taker. But from yesterday, we're hearing NNPCL also saying they discountenance that statement from Dangote, that no, Dangote is free to sell to other marketers. I don't know how you make of this back and forth issue. That something is not tidy there.
Yes, of course. NNPC and the federal government, they are trying to create a kind of trust deficit. They are creating a kind of a situation whereby people will keep distrusting anything coming from NNPC or that mainstream sector of petroleum. The problem is, you see, right from the beginning, they come to say that yes, Dangote refinery will now be will not sell. They will not give him crude. He has to go and source crude elsewhere. Yeah. Because they say they have sold the crude up front.
He started shouting, making some revelations.
So when
about Malta.
Once revelation started coming, they now came with another assertion that Dangote will monopolize market if allowed to sell his crude, his petroleum products. So you can see the level of a kind of misstatements that is coming from them. They are not straightforward. And if you look at when they said they declare a profit, is it 30-something billion of profit, or I cannot recall.
Yes.
They later said they were owing subsidy of almost $6 billion.
$6 billion, yeah.
You see, you cannot, how can you trust such kind of organization?
Okay.
They are not straightforward.
Let's take this caller. Hello, good afternoon. This is the POLITY live from KAFTAN Television Studios.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Matthew from Benue State.
Matthew from Benue State, go ahead with your contribution. It's your show.
All right. I want to just ask a question. And the question I'm about to ask is to the president himself.
Okay.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Go ahead.
I want to find out if Tinubu, who is the president of Nigeria, is really in charge of the hems of affairs of this country.
Okay.
Because if he's really in charge, I think by now he should have reshuffled all staffs of the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation Limited. Because with what is happening now, if nothing is done, I am telling you, in 6 months' time from today, you will still sit in the studio to discuss another petroleum price hike.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. You know, on the day of his inauguration, President Tinubu did say subsidy is gone. And many people were expecting, you know, Melekari to be relieved of his responsibility. And Matthew from Benue State just re-echoed that. Do you share the same view? Would that solve any problem?
To me, it might not solve the problem. It might in some other aspect if you look at it. But in the first instance, if you look, whom are they going to bring even if they remove Kyari Mele?
Yeah.
Most of the times, this maybe from the same NNPC or from the same petroleum mainstream sector or industry. And the way I see those people there, all of them, to some extent, the way I see them, they are of the same, they are the bed of the same pillars. So even if they change Kyari Mele, there could maybe no changes. The only thing we needed was sincerity in the way they govern that,
and transparency.
And transparency. That's very good. So lack of transparency was a problem. When President Tinubu announces that there is a subsidy has been removed, it's not like many people were not aware that the subsidy has been removed before him, because President Buhari removed subsidy on diesel, jet, and kerosene. Many people are not aware of that. So what he did was he removed petroleum subsidy in arrears or in advance, meaning he left some 1 or 2 months after he left office for Tinubu to take off. So after Tinubu now came in and announces that subsidy is removed, it's faulty really. There were problems there because he did not even enter office to read about those files. He didn't enter office to look at the main petroleum industry, what it needs, how it needs a holistic approach. It needs changes that will change it for better. But one thing is, before you enter office, you announce its removal, and you do not put measures whereby the consequences of removal, as in hardship, as in inflation and so on, you do not put any measures before it. That's what makes the announcement faulty right from the beginning. And when now they came back, they were telling us that they are owing $6 billion. You know, it's very laughable.
It's laughable.
Yeah, so one thing is there's a need for federal government to change the way they are doing things. NNPCL, if I am not only Kyari Mele, if I was able to see President to tell him, I would ask him to unbundle NNPC entirely. It needs a kind of serious structured overhauling, whereby not only the Kyari Mele, the EDs and whatever, most of them, they need to be expunged. Most of them, you have to check among those who have a very good record, who are not corrupt. They will not be in any connivance of corruption, because NNPC now has become a kind of corruption cash cow of the country.
I was
Number one.
to mention this word.
Yes. Yeah. So therefore, what we expect President Tinubu to do, if he wanted to really put Nigeria first before anything, number one thing is the petroleum hike now is uncalled for. Nigerians are suffering. You do not put measures whereby when you remove subsidy, Nigerians will have a bit of succor.
Beyond palliatives.
You say you increase minimum wage. Meanwhile, the purchasing power of these same people remain as it is. You understand? You now say that you give palliatives, which people are not seeing it. We don't need palliative. Now, if you go to markets, you see different prices are going high.
Okay, we'll come to that.
Yes,
we'll come to that in our second topic. Let me come to Chukwudi. Chukwudi, I find it difficult. I would like both of you to answer this question, but let me start with Chukwudi.
Yeah.
Nigeria belongs to Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that is OPEC, in Vienna. And you need to be a petroleum exporting country for you to be a member. But we don't export. For decades, we have never exported. How justifiable is our membership? And we have always been told that Nigeria is the 6th largest producer of oil in the world. But we don't produce. So I still question that position. How are we number 6? And why are we still a member? Do you still believe we are a member of OPEC? How justifiable is it? That's a kind of tricky question, you know.
Yes. It's laughable. But then, we are still a member in papers. And when I mean in papers, that's what they told us. But then we are not seeing it being practicalized. Just like as you said, for how many years now, we have not been exporting. So, but then I think all this have to do with leadership and not being transparent. And I feel like as it still stands, some individuals or the government themselves are making money from these things. And that is why it's still the way it is. Because there is no way a country that has not been exporting to other nations will still be a full member of OPEC up to today. That shows that they are using it to make their own money. That shows that there is something they are not telling us. They are not being transparent enough. And this is where having leaders with vision comes in. Leaders that knows what it takes to lead.
Okay, Aziz, he talked about vision. You also alluded to vision. If you're a country that is serious about development, don't forget that during the Buhari regime, a Nigerian from Adamawa State, a flying man from Adamawa State, was Secretary General of OPEC. Barkindo, of blessed memory.
Yes.
And that did not, exalted office did not add anything to the oil sector in Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned. What do you think?
So, this OPEC issue, you see, we're members of OPEC.
Yes.
No doubt about that.
No doubt.
But the problem we have is that we failed to fix the oil sector as expected. One thing is, for example, we have refineries in Nigeria. Earlier on, the previous governments have built 3 to 4 refineries, Warri, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, with the capacity that at least can be able to produce enough fuel at that time for Nigerian consumption and even other countries, our neighboring countries. But one thing is, due to corruption, these, what do you call them, the refineries were sabotaged. But one thing, the way God do his things was, even if you have been evilly corrupt, one day you'll be exposed. Why I'm saying this is because this Dangote refinery, with coming of it has exposed federal government that these refineries, they are healthy enough to work. They were only intentionally and deliberately not allowed to work. The reason is, every government that comes, they will budgeted money in dollars for repair and turnaround maintenance of these refineries. But yet, they will not tell you they produce just even 1 liter
one barrel
that has been taken out of it. So they now, if you look at it, they shortchange Nigerians in the way that they prefer to be carrying the crude, go and refine it somewhere else, bring it and redouble the money, and claim, the price is this or that. Which, if you look at it, there were a lot of corrupt practices in that line. Unless we are ready to change, because yes, there is cabal, there were mafias working, but the government has the upper hand. If the federal government want to repair and make it work, as Obasanjo said once upon a time in one of his interviews, that he even called Shell PLC to come and say, okay, Shell, can you come and take over, or let's share, so that he took over this refinery, let them work. But they refused. They say they allege corrupt issues. International countries will not help us because they know if we are able to refine our products, they will not get what they want.
Okay.
They were part of the saboteurs. Despite the fact we have internal saboteurs, which we have to, federal government has to get the will to work on those.
Okay, as you hold your thoughts there, I like the line of thoughts you have taken. Let's take this caller. Yeah, hello, go ahead, please. Your name, where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay.
Nigeria, let's just look at Nigeria as an individual that cultivates yam, harvests his yam, and sell it to somebody else. It's not that this individual does not have stove or knife to cook his yam. He has all these things. But he will prefer to sell this yam to somebody else. When the person finish cooking it, he will still buy it back from that person.
Okay.
That is Nigeria for you. These people, it's not that all these things we are talking, advising the federal government or whatever, they know what to do. It's just because they are selfish.
Okay.
But one day, this very nation they are crippling, we still need them back.
Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts. Chukwudi, do you believe him? This nation that they are crippling. Do you even believe that they are crippling the nation?
Yes.
It may not be. It may be unintentional.
It's intentional, from my own point of view.
Chukwudi said it's intentional.
Yeah.
Intentionally ask that question.
Yeah, because you cannot deliberately, see what will help your citizens and decide not to do them. A lot of hardship is happening in this country right now. People are suffering. There is hiking for the prices in the market. A lot of things is going on. There is security, So, but the government refuses to prioritize those things.
Okay.
Instead, there are many concerns about whatever that will benefit them.
Okay. Let's take this caller. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Polity live from KAFTAN Television. Go ahead, please. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Zaria.
From Zaria. Go ahead with your contribution.
This politics of fuel is very pathetic. Our leaders are very wicked. They don't consider we masses.
Okay.
They are just selfish interest. They didn't have masses in their mind. So it's also good that we see what's from them.
Okay.
And what I'm going to tell population of Nigeria is that we should try to elect good leader.
Okay.
That's the only thing that will solve our problem. We continue praying to God.
Okay, thank you. He has made valid points, but there's an aspect I want to ask you. Do you believe him that Nigerian leaders are wicked? And it's like a generalization.
Yes. One thing I might not concur with him, generalization of the leaders. Don't forget, wherever you see bad people among them, you might get one that might be different.
Okay, so let's take this caller. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Polity from KAFTAN Television. I'm fine, and you? Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, I want to know what Tinubu is planning in his. I don't know where his government is going, because the problem with Tinubu, we don't know the type of the system of government he's making. You see the problem of this fuel hike. He's just saying that he don't know the increased money. What type of government we have? That somebody who increase money has the number one knowledge. Please, I beg you, try and ask him.
Okay. Thank you. The man is so angry. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll take a deep dive and make a transition into rising cost of living, which has been exacerbated by the politics of fuel price hike that has become perennial in the country. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the POLITY. My name is Macauley, Hunohashi. Thanks for remaining with us, and I thank our numerous viewers and vibrant callers for calling in to give us their thoughts by making the program interactive and conversational. With me still in the studio is Chukwudi, Igwe, and Abdulaziz, Idris. Guys, before we went on that break, we were discussing politics of fuel price hike, and now we're shifting gears to rising cost of living, which has been, like I said, exacerbated by the incessant fuel price hike. And before we went on that break, there was a caller that made an analogy. I want you to record that analogy and pick from there. That he talked about cultivating yam and selling the yam. Recall that and build on that.
You see, the caller, he has given his thoughts, and what I see is it makes sense. How can I go to Palm, spend my hours, spend my time and energy, harvest my products from the palm? Now I will carry everything and sold it to Mr. B. And now Mr. B took it to the market or took it to where he go and cook it and so do the way it should be, and make it eatable. Now I will now come, affordable. Then I will now come and say, okay, since I have sold it to you, then I will now be buying. Anytime you cook, I will now be buying from you and be eating.
That's the Nigerian industry.
That's the Nigerian oil industry. It doesn't make sense. It shows that there is no sincere direction. There is no transparency. If you look at it, it's delusional in the fact that you own something and you cannot process it. It is entirely a kind of lie that we don't expect it.
You can't even explain.
You can't explain. You cannot explain how that can happen. If you ask, for you to be accurate in whatever you do, for you to be directly involved in anything that you are doing like this, because this is government, there must be a direction, there must be a plan, and there must be sincerity and transparency. The way NNPC are doing things all these years, if you look at it, even there is no audit, the way they do their spendings and whatever, it shows that there is something they are hiding, as my brother here said. So most of the Nigerians, that's why you see somebody can come and generalize that everybody, all the leaders are wicked.
Thieves.
They are thieves, they are wicked. Meanwhile, there could be some good ones, but they will not be allowed because the majority are the wicked. So 1 to 2 people cannot change it.
Okay, let me remain with you before I go to Chukwudi Igwe, because this question directly affects your constituency. You are the chairman of Boost and Allergy Modern Market, because you are in the business of buying and selling.
Yes.
Let me ask you directly, how has business been in the last 1 year in relation to government policies?
Yeah, we are not finding it easy. Why I said we're not finding it easy was even we, the traders, we are not happy. You see, first of all, if you went to buy products from either a company or from wholesaler, anytime you go back, you buy today, when you go back tomorrow to buy, you see additional price. And when you inquire, why something that I bought just last week, why is it this week you added so amount of money? They will give you their own instances, I mean their own thoughts. What they used to tell us was, there were, for the past 2-3 years, there were 2 things or 3 to 4 things that the federal government did which affect production. Before we come to fuel price hike, federal government has increased in triple or in double or in hundreds of percentage the increased tax on this, especially the food producers. We said we want to close border so that we can be able to have our own food security. We want to be self-sufficient when it comes to food. But you are discouraging the producers who will process the food by giving them high tax. Secondly, when they remove diesel subsidy, it affects them. Why? Because they have to carry trucks from where they used to buy their products to their factories. This thing is serious, because when they remove the subsidy on diesel, if you are carrying a truck then from Kano at 350,000, you ended up paying 650 to 700,000. You know, it has to affect and reflect on all these products. Then on the third one was the energy, the power. It affects them also. Subsidy has been removed, let me put it that way, in also the power sector, the electricity we consume now. So if you go to a factory, if they told you, they show you their cost of how you will be surprised, because the cost of electricity they are consuming, despite the fact if they want to go on diesel, it's the same. If they come on electricity, the same. The cost is very high. So that's the reasons they used to give us. So that will reflect. Even we are buying from factories, we bring it. Definitely, we have to consider all these constraints. We have to add it off. Now, where fuel price hike comes in is when the federal government last year announces that they have removed subsidy. Now, things somersaulted. The prices keep rising and rising every day. Meanwhile, don't forget, this fuel, PMS, has in many ways, in numerous ways, touches the lives of all of us, and any other thing you want to do because of transportation, moving from one place to another, affects everyone and affects every Nigerian. So when they remove this, they remove subsidy, what we expect from federal government to encourage producers. For example, I have usually used to give an example with only rice, which is a food that if you go to poor man's house, you will see rice. If you go to rich man's house, you will see rice. Why should it be that, why can't they exempt food production companies from tax? Okay,
so let me come to, we are talking about tax. I'll come to that later. I'm going to ask you about VAT. You know, there was an announcement for the increase of VAT to 10%. We will get to that. SMEs are closing shop. Barbing saloons cannot cope because of the rising cost of what he alluded to. Petrol is expensive. You know, the average barber charges 1,000 naira and he buys a liter of fuel 1,000 naira, and then 1 liter of fuel cannot power your generator to barb 3 to 4 people? How do you pay salaries? How do you cope? How do you pay, renew your rents as a barbing salon? I'm just using barbing salon as an example of SMEs. You are a businessman. You are a digital media strategist. You're also a contractor. How is the policy affecting your business environment? With your personal experience.
I must say, the past 1 year and 6 months now, let me say, it's like maybe the toughest of them all to any business person in Nigeria, any entrepreneur in Nigeria. Nobody is finding it easy, because of the kind of policies that the government is making. They are not really making the environment conducive for a common businessman, to flourish or to grow. Now, let me start from, like the hike in prices in the market. When you look at the agriculture sector, like my brother said, if I would take it back, I would say, like, all these things mainly started from the past administration, and that's why I said it keeps getting worse. Each administration after their own, it keeps getting worse. When you look at the policies the Buhari government presented and how they functioned, it was not really good and it was not helpful to the economy, and which is reflecting today to Tinubu's government. Look at the hike in foodstuffs in the market. Why? Because there is no food. If you look at the state that are mainly, the state that mainly supplies food in this country, the major states that face agriculture, talk of Benue. Now, if you check your statistics, Benue have over 2 million people in IDP camps because of banditry. And if you have up to that numbers in the IDP camps, then who are the people that are in the agriculture? You check Kaduna, take certain Kaduna as example. I've stayed there for like 5 years or more than. I face these things first-hand in experience. I can tell you what people experience there. Then check Adamawa, check other northern parts that mainly produce food, and all these things contribute in what we are facing today. And then insecurity also it also affects the common business. A lot of businesses are leaving Nigeria because of the economic difficulties, and if the country is not being secured, if there is no security, nobody will feel safe to flourish. Let me use myself as an example now. I may have a business idea that can flourish well in Kano or in Maiduguri, but because I feel like if I go there and establish this and I'm not safe, my family will not be safe, I won't even think of going there. Now, even the external bodies, like external companies, international companies, they are no more coming to Nigeria. The ones that is even in Nigeria is leaving. Today we don't have the life of GSK in Nigeria again, and a lot of them. So all these things are challenges, and one of the major problem is the policies that the government is making.
Okay, now let me come back to Chairman. Talking about policies, here you alluded to the fact that there's widespread poverty, which you also mentioned, which was exacerbated by the recent hike in the price of petroleum products. And everything in Nigeria is hinged on our mainstay. Our mainstay is oil. Now, the dust that was raised by the hike in price has not yet settled. We're hearing that government is talking about increase of value-added tax to about 10%. What is the economic implication of that if it comes to bear?
Yeah, it has a lot of economic implications. As I told you earlier on, before now, if you notice, the purchasing power of Nigerians remains as it is last 2 years. Meanwhile, the cost of things keep rising. And now if you come say you are adding 10% value-added tax, definitely that value-added tax, anywhere you go and buy product, they will transfer the tax on you, on individuals. Any place you went and you buy any item that you buy, they will add that value-added tax on the product you are buying. So definitely that will also decrease the level of purchasing power of Nigeria. That means the worst implication of it was it will increase poverty. The poverty will come. The meaning, why? Because if you have 10,000 naira, your budget is maybe 10 or 9,000 naira. You want to keep 1,000 naira. Now what you want to buy is going to cost you 11,000. That means you cannot be able to buy it the way you want. You have to buy less. And when you are buying less, it will not be enough for you. When you use it, you have to come back. So it will push people to lending, borrowing, and other things, which is part of poverty, pushing people to abject poverty.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if we look at it, I said it earlier on, we do even expect that for federal government to encourage internal producers, especially, even if they will not do it to others, but the food product companies, flour, rice, spaghettis, and so on and so forth, they should have been entirely exempted on tax. Why I say this is because it's better than distributing palliative, which will not reach everybody. If you exempt them from tax, it's better than even the announcement he made that border will be open for 6 months to bring in items into the country, or food items, which, if you look at the criteria, comes from custom, is a bit cumbersome, which is uneasy. You can't just go and start buying it. You know, so many things involved in it. The best thing is, let's exempt, even if you want to add value added tax, that's bad. Food items should be exempted.
Okay. Would you accept welcome value added tax on your businesses?
Me personally, as it stands now, I don't think that should be what the federal government should be looking at.
It's not a priority.
It's not a priority because it's not helping a common businessman in Nigeria right now to flourish. They should focus more on, like as my brother said, trying to make the environment more conducive for businesses to grow, and even to support them in whichever way they can, because a lot of businesses are suffering. Today you go to market, the next day you come, the price have changed. So even us in the construction field, today you go and buy this material at so cost. Tomorrow they will call you, the price have changed. What you buy last month or last week is not the same price you are going to get it today, which is a whole lot of difficulties. There's a whole lot of challenge. Now, adding this VAT now is another stress on its own, which is not helping matter. So I think the government should focus more on trying to help the poor masses, the common businessman in Nigeria, to flourish and grow. Make the economic policies more conducive for everybody, both the international businesses, so that they will see that vision to come into Nigeria to grow their businesses.
So, Chukwudi, some people believe that the major reason for having this kind of leaders is because our leadership recruitment process is transactional. When they pay their way, they need to recoup, and they can do anything to recoup. Do you believe that?
Yes, because the footprint, their track records and everything. Just like my brother said, our president saying that they want to transform Nigeria to China. I don't see that as a possibility.
Okay, let's take this caller before I come to Abdulaziz. Good afternoon. You are on to the POLITY from KAFTAN Television Live. Go ahead, please. Your name?
Please, can I advertise my product in your station, please?
No, you can come. You can come to the station so that we can discuss the commercial aspect of it. We can advertise. Why not? You can advertise on KAFTAN Television, but you can take this number and call back so that you can meet us. So that let's discuss how you are going to benefit from our airtime, and we'll tell you our charges. Thank you. But meanwhile, we're discussing the cost of living. Abdulaziz, he said he wants to advertise his product. Yeah, he can. Why not?
Why not? Yes. KAFTAN TV it's a commercial TV,
it's a commercial
private commercial, and
exactly.
one thing is, what I know is they are free. I'm sure very much that if you want to, like we traders, marketers, we also help KAFTAN let them know KAFTAN TV is ready and is willing that if you want to invest, because by advertising you are investing.
Yes.
You are calling people to come in and do business.
Thank you for clarifying that, because you have been an advertiser yourself. This is the Polity live from KAFTAN Television. Your name, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Andrew. I'm calling from Lagos.
Andrew from Lagos, go ahead with your contribution.
If I can hear my brother Chukwudi very well, Tinubu to transform Nigeria like China, right?
Like China, yeah, that's what he said.
Then who will remain to enjoy the China?
I like the question. So
Then should be careful, Nigeria. Hey, something is coming out to pass their power. Because for them now, they believe in money. What money cannot do does not exist. They should find solution to this thing now. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew is an avid caller. He calls all the time, and he's been watching. He heard you when you said that Tinubu did promise in China that he's going to replicate the infrastructure he saw in China in Nigeria. And then he was a bit sarcastic when he said, who will be there to enjoy the infrastructure? That's why widespread hunger and poverty.
Yes, that's why I said I didn't even see that as a possibility. You know, because talking about leaders with vision, you know, if this current administration actually have the vision to lead this country to the next phase of it, we should have been seeing the footsteps, the procedures, the laid down plan by now. You know, like what we are facing in the petroleum industry now shouldn't have been occurred if this administration know what they are doing and they were actually ready to help the masses. You know, if not for their selfish gains and whatever, you know, they always want for themselves. Because
go ahead.
Because I think from the beginning, as he was resuming office, they should know that this was the problem from the previous administration. This is where we are going to start from. This is what and what we need to do to build these gaps, you know, to make things work. But then we keep saying that everything is getting worse, showing that they have not actually done anything. You know.
Okay,
so
let me come to you, Aziz. Dubai is a model of vision, and Dubai, from the records from history, by 1992, not too long ago, was a virgin land. It was a desert. Dubai in particular, not the United Arab Emirates, but Dubai. But through vision, careful planning, diligence, and deployment of technology, transparency, like you said, Dubai is what it is today. What is so difficult for let me say, Africans, for us to replicate that kind of thing, to even lead the way, because we are so much blessed by the Almighty God. We have everything you can think of. What is our bane?
What is very possible for Africa, or in Nigeria in particular, to be transformed into even more power beyond Dubai. As you allude, in 1992, Dubai is a desert. But today, all Nigerians, all Africans, all over the world, people are rushing.
We run to Dubai. We want all property.
Yes, to Dubai to buy things or to do business there. And what we have to look at the Dubai itself and look, how do they achieve that? I'm sure they achieve that through planning. They put national interest first, and circumspect in their dealings. Another thing is, if you look at the bedrock of development in everywhere in the world, it starts from the leadership, sincerity, faithfulness in the leadership. National interest first before selfishness.
It's not prayer and fasting.
It's not prayer and fasting. Nigeria, like for example, Nigeria, we are beyond prayer and fasting. if you took a typical Muslim man in Nigeria, he prays, he do fasting, he do all sort of things more than even the Arab.
Yeah.
That's where Islam started. If you take an ordinary Christian, it's the same thing. Nigerian Christians are now the best pastors and reverend fathers in England and US. You can see people that brought the religion to them, they are now taking it back to them. So
we are better than them.
Yeah, in that aspect, we are better than them.
Yes.
That's one problem we have. If you look at before we were talking about Dubai, but let me bring India here. We were colonized by British.
Yes.
With both India and Nigeria. When they reach Indians, the white men, when they reach Indians rejected their culture, rejected their religion. You understand? But adopted their technology.
Yes.
This is the same technology that Dubai people, who having the visionary leaders, the sincere leaders, they put it past before any other thing. That works make Dubai to be why it is today. So you allude that you do see the possibility of changing Nigeria to be for transforming it to like China. For me, I see it possible. The only thing is the leadership vision and the sincerity in pursuing that goal.
Okay, Abdulaziz, let's take this last caller. I like this line of thought. You have our last caller today on the Polity from KAFTAN Television Live. Please go ahead.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Abdulaziz from Lokoja.
Abdulaziz from Lokoja, go ahead, sir, with your contribution.
Thank you very much. What you understand about the government so far, people come to Nigeria to suffer in Nigeria.
Okay.
We don't have any other mission rather than to punish Nigeria. Because the palliative that is make it to be one of his priority.
Yeah.
The palliative, he used the money to buy the palliative. Why can't you remove the palliative and bring back the subsidy?
Okay. Okay.
Because it's part of the subsidy.
Exactly.
So why can't you? If you're not ready to punish this country,
okay.
If you do Nigeria well, you will go with war. Well, but if you punish Nigeria, you will go shame by the special grace of God.
Thank you.
Masalam.
Thank you, Masalam. Thank you, Abdullah from Lokoja. He's talking about swap. That swap the palliative. So much is being spent, expended in terms of funding, to provide palliative. So instead of channeling the money to provide palliative, why don't you just bring back the subsidy and forget about the palliative?
Yes, you see, people have different views and thoughts over this issue of subsidy.
Now we are last thoughts.
Yes.
In 30 seconds.
Subsidy, if we look at it entirely, it's a scam and it's a burden on the nation.
Okay.
But you see, there are other ways and measures Nigerians can, federal government can do to alleviate the sufferings and the poverty of Nigerians.
In 5 seconds.
Yes, it will be miraculous if, for example, the one I said earlier, that if federal government will exempt all food productions to be tax-free and let them give fertilizer free to farmers.
Yeah. Okay, Chukwudi, 10 seconds. What's your final thoughts?
Just like as he said, provide security.
Okay.
Make the
farmers should go back to
farms.
Farmers
should go back to farms, and also make the right decisions and policies that will enable the common businesses to grow in the country. Yeah.
Well, Chukwudi Igwe and Abdulaziz Idris Chukwudi Igwe, and a contractor, digital media entrepreneur, and Abdulaziz Idris, chairman, Dusang Alaji, Modern Market. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming to the Polity.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
That's the size of our package today on the Polity. We thank our numerous viewers and our vibrant callers for calling in to give us their thoughts by making the program conversational and interactive. Whatever, any comment that emanated from any caller is their personal opinion that has nothing to do with editorial policy of KAFTAN Television. My name remains Macauley Hunohashi, saying thanks for being there on behalf of the MCR people and our producer. I say thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.